Good day, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay? Just let me know in the chat. It's nice to see everybody introducing themselves. Awesome. Okay, let me just see who's joining us today. We have quite a few people that have signed up. I'm not going to see. I'm not sure how many are going to show up, but it's okay. So just so you guys know, at any point during this workshop, this webinar, if you have to leave, it's no problem. This can be recorded, and everything that we offer in this is obviously going to be extended. For you guys that they can't make it to the end. So it's no problem. Let me just see. Okay, so far we have 20 people. So we have, I'm just going to go through the list here. Lisa, Ison, Barry, uh, Ellie, we have Harold or Harry, Jerry, Newt, Mateo, Matthias, Nicholas, Nick, Nikki, Rob, Robert, Simona, Stefano, Stefan, Tim, and Wadi. Awesome. Oh, then we have, yeah, okay, awesome. People are just joining in. So, guys, first thing to do, just go in the chat, get comfortable using that. For me, this is a little bit more difficult going through this because I don't get to see your smiling, beautiful faces. So, please introduce yourselves. Let us know where you're from and what you like to photograph. What's your favorite subject to shoot? No, mind me. I'm drinking coffee around the clock. So, hope you guys have a coffee or a beer or something like that. Okay, Robert's from New Jersey, Wildlife Nature, Jerry, Michigan, Landscapes. Awesome. Sweet. Okay, guys, and just so you know, as we get going here, when you guys are typing in anything in the chat, you guys can turn these into questions so that I can see them because when we're participating in this, all your amazing questions are probably going to get pushed to the top or pushed to the back. So there's three buttons, three little dots on the side when you guys write a message. You can convert that into a question. So at any time, if I'm speaking about something and I miss your question, just make sure that when you guys are typing something, you can turn it into a question. Then it populates and gets sent to me directly. So it makes it a lot easier for me to see if, in fact, I need to go over something that I'm chatting about, or if it's just a question I can answer at the end. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so we have 24 people so far. Dan's from Belgium. Awesome. Thank you guys for introducing yourselves. It's so fantastic to see how many people have shown up on a Saturday. I imagine everybody's calling from around the world, which is it's so cool. This is having these Zoom calls and these workshops on the internet has really changed the game for photographers, and I'm really proud to have everybody call from all over the world here. It's just amazing. So yeah, South Africa, Germany, Belgium, Austria. You guys are all over the place. This is awesome, and it's nice to have a good time that works for everybody as well. So I hope this doesn't go too late for you, or isn't too early for those of you who are probably in Australia. Bad signal on your end, Robert. If in fact there's a bad signal, don't worry. It may just be your internet. Could be my internet. I live on Vancouver Island, so I'm not in the best place for this. So long as you guys can hear me and see me, then we're going to be just a-okay. Okay. All right. So let's get started today. Okay, just a sec. I just want to make sure that you guys can see me. At any point, just send me a message because I can see the messages right away. Is the video still on, or no? Yeah. Okay. Okay, but it's bored. Okay, don't worry about seeing me. It's not that seeing this my mullet and my face isn't the best thing. It's going to be seeing the slides and just hearing what it is that I'm talking about. That's the most important part of this entire workshop is the content. So if in fact the video is not going to be great, then I'll be sure to go over things if anything is missed. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so let me pull up some slides and let's get going and talk about all the amazing things that us photographers want to learn. Okay. Okay, so you guys have signed up to this workshop and this webinar, and I really appreciate you guys doing so. It's my favorite thing to do is to teach business acumen and to photographers, whether it's hobbyists or professional photographers. This is what I love to do the most. I like to make people's dreams come true through photography as their service or product that they're bringing to the world. I've been doing this for quite a few years now. I'd say probably more than 5 years, and specifically helping photographers sell prints for the last year and a half that's been really intense, because my students have had such amazing success, and then they pass on the referrals. So essentially, this webinar today and this workshop is going to be talking about the three key success factors to make your prints sell like crazy or soar or whatever terms you want to use. It's just to understand how to actually sell your fine art photography. And what often happens, and the reason why I got into this is because I was solving my own problem more than 4 years ago, where I had awesome photos that were really decent. People loved them, but no one was buying them. And this for me was kind of like it was a puzzle. It was a mystery. I didn't know what to do, how to get over this. And what I realized is that so many of these different sites are promising sales, promising that you're going to be in the marketplace, but then your prints don't sell. Okay, they're essentially all these sites that are available to photographers. They're just hosting sites. Okay, they don't actually create the proper marketplace for your perfect customer avatar, who you should be selling to. They try to get you to sell your work to everybody, and that's honestly a mistake right from the get-go. So happy to go over this with you guys today. I've taught 1,150 photographers in the last year in 3 months my specific techniques to help them one-on-one or help them in group settings. And we've produced crazy epic results. So essentially what I like to do is go out there, be the pioneer, figure out what works, what doesn't, waste all my money, waste all my time, and then bring all my knowledge to photographers. I view this space as a photography community, as a community, not as a competitive landscape. I think that we need to raise the profile, raise the overall I guess status of photographers so that they can make a living, they can get justified higher prices for their work, get paid fair prices. And this is a big part that when people are getting into photography or trying to figure it out, they're constantly pushed down, and I'm trying to raise everybody up. So I share everything that I know. I don't hold anything back. I have no reason to. I think that if we can understand collectively together how to position our work, then we're going to raise that floor for photography products and services. First, I want to just chat about Pictas in this community. How many of you guys are familiar with Pictas? So I see some members in here, obviously. Just let me know in the chat. Have you guys heard of Pictas before? Just give me a yes, no. Awesome. Okay, lots of people. I imagine a lot of you guys are members. Yep. Very cool. Harry gives the star eyes. Okay. Rob says new. Yes. Okay, cool. So it seems like you guys are, a lot of the members are members since yesterday. Awesome. Cool. So Pictas kind of really aligns with me. I've been fortunate enough to cross paths with many of the members and the founding members of Pictas. And for me, it's this beautiful synergy of expertise, people all over the world overcoming similar challenges in different regions and different places on the earth, and then all having different niches, but coming together as artists and creators, and solving one another's problems and helping each other, and really, again, raising the profile of photographers. And I think it's just this beautiful place that I'm super proud to be a member of. Just recently, I joined as a photographer. Their vision is essentially to create a community of connection, inspiration, and learning. And I just want to say thank you to Pictas for marketing this particular workshop and webinar, and having all the members support it and share it, because this is a big part of how we're going to progress as photographers. So there's a little bit about them. If you guys go to their website, just check it out, type in Pictas within Google, and you're going to get it right away. The community is what I think is a non-for-profit. It's super cheap, so $30 for gold membership, and that basically gives you access, like tons of marketing access and content, and ability to distribute your work, as well as to connect with people that could be mentors, or could be one step ahead of you, or one step behind you that you can bring up. So check it out. I really love the community. They're big on Vero, and they're kind of big all over the place. But again, it's a place that I really recommend. And again, some world-class photographers on this list. So check it out, and yeah, play around on the website. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so today's workshop, guys, we're going to be talking about kind of three core areas. What I have found after teaching 1,150 students, I think it's even more than that now. The three key components in the last year of what has actually has that cause and effect of driving and increasing sales. So we're going to be talking about creating authority and demand, increasing the revenue, central automation. We're going to talk about a 10-day challenge, and then I'm going to do a special offer and giveaway at the end. So if you guys stick around to the end, I go crazy. I don't know if you guys have how many of you guys actually know me, but I like to give things away. I really appreciate people's attention and their time. So if you guys stick around to the end and you guys are interested in what it is that I have to say at the end, then I'm definitely going to do some amazing giveaways. Last time I think I gave away $10,000 worth of stuff, so it's a really exciting time. So stick around to the end. This workshop is it's not meant to just be this like little fluffy information. This is true information that has been through put through the test, and I really want you guys to be sponges, to ask questions, to kind of challenge your own beliefs about prints and photography in general, because what happens is that we get in this cycle of thinking this is the way things are. And what I really want you guys to take on is this openness and this willingness to learn and willingness to do things a little bit differently. There are way more efficient ways than most people are doing things. It's essentially because they're little secret sauces or little tips and tricks that people have learned themselves that keep to themselves. And today I'm here to share some of this information that will actually fundamentally like change your photography print sales today. All right. Before we get into all this stuff, let me just let you guys know who your teacher is and who your instructor is, so you guys can have kind of that trust in me to know that that I'm going to be the proper person to help you with selling prints. So first of all, I'm a husband, I'm a dad. That's my little boy Bear. He is now a year and a month old. He is the center of our universe. Makes me emotional talking about him, but Jenny and I are extremely proud parents. And we are bringing this little boy into an adventurous life. Jenny and I have a photo tour company, as well as a photo production company and an agency, where we're taking clients all over the world to experience nature firsthand. So what's most important to us is to actually create fundamental change from each individual outward. And so Jenny and I are huge conservationists. I've probably more than 6 years now as a vegan, which is a lifestyle that I incorporate with all my wildlife photography and conservation work. And yeah, coming from this, I've had a huge radical shift in the last 6 years. I came from a business commerce degree and a specialization in finance and entrepreneurship and digital marketing. So I'm big time. Like I worked in corporate. I was yeah, following the money, not happy, miserable, a little bit depressed. I was told from a young age that photography and art was never a way to make a living. Okay, and so I went into this traditional route. I had a golf scholarship. I had a golf and business scholarship at the University of Victoria. I played competitive golf all over North America, and yeah, that created a lot of opportunity for me. But what I realized is that art and adventure and nature is truly where I want to live my be in my everyday life. So we created a photo tour company while I was working a corporate job and while Jenny was working a corporate job, and then we transitioned out of that and been doing that full time since. Our business generates. Thank you guys, by the way. I thank you for all the congrats and everything. It means a lot. Just so you guys know, our business generates between $250,000 to $500,000 a year just with us two in the business. A combination of 7 to 10 revenue streams within our photography business. So just so you guys know, we have this authority. We have this kind of like we've been there, we've done it, and we know exactly what works, what doesn't. We've spent a lot of our own money. We've had no debt from the bank. All personal savings that have generated our photography business and our photography careers. And so what's really, I guess, important to note about this is that it's totally possible, you guys. We're not, I mean, we're special, but we're not anybody any different than you guys. So I want you guys to understand this, that you can totally break down that mold and that barrier that other people have put on you and said that you can't do things. The biggest thing that I can say is just be resourceful and get as much information as you can within the digital marketing space, because as you become a photographer, as you want to become a photographer, you are all of the roles of a business overnight. Okay, it's not just you becoming a photographer and taking nice pictures. That is one of 10 roles within a successful photography business. So I just wanted to let you guys know, like, if you really want to make this happen, if you want to make the side hustle something bigger, lean into the digital marketing space and understand how to get clients and then how to keep clients. That's the biggest thing that I can kind of say as we go into this workshop today. Um, it's something that is overlooked and something that is missed by a lot of creatives, a lot of artists, because it's something that is so foreign to them. So again, I bring that background of business commerce. I used to manage a $50 million business in the corporate world, not my money, not my doing, but I manage that. I manage all the financials, as well as the sales and marketing plans for this corporate business. Okay, so enough about me. Let's get into the good stuff. Just so you guys have that background of who I am, where I've come from. I wasn't always a full-time photographer. It's something that I became. Okay, it's a process and it's a journey, and it's something that I'm still on, and I'm still learning and doing different things every single week, to kind of figure out what works. Just one last thing I want to mention here. I'm also a founding member of a conservation organization in Canada called the Canadian Conservation Collective. What we do is we actually have photographers all over Canada to tell stories that aren't in the mainstream media, whether it's about old growth forest, fisheries, overfishing, whale endangerment through boating, talking about estuaries, talking about wetlands. So we have this. It's kind of like a mini network in Canada of photographers. Some that have been on Sea Legacy, some that have been on Pacific Wild, Nat Geo representatives, Canadian Geographic, and what we do is we're all just volunteer basis, going out and telling these stories. So that's something that I'm working on as well. That's not in here, but it kind of ties in my photography and conservation work. Okay. Okay. So what's in this for me? So you guys are coming to a free workshop. Pretty sweet for you guys. Um, but there's obviously going to be some advantages to me. I'm able to share my message and share my expertise with you guys. If in fact you guys like what it is that I do and how I teach and what problems I can solve for you, I do photography business coaching and consulting. I've helped thousands upon thousands of photographers, like I said, of all varying degrees. And again, my goal is just to revolutionize the photographer's business knowledge. So when I'm teaching to you guys, and something is new to you or something is like an aha moment, I use that in my next webinar, in my next workshop. So I'm constantly evolving as a I guess a educational professional. So that's what's in it for me. Okay. COVID impacted a lot of people's livelihoods, including ours. So we lost our photo tour company, or it's put to a standstill for 2 years. Hundreds of thousands of dollars tied up in boat charters and accommodations. Um, and what instead of sitting there and saying like, "Oh, poor me," I have right in front of me. It says, "How can I help people solve their problems?" And that is what has transformed our personal business in photography, like 10 times. We went out and said, "How can we help tourism companies? How can we help commercial companies that have been struggling with COVID, and use our photography service and our products to help them out?" And so that was kind of what was in it for me at the beginning. And since then, our business has been booming, which is, yeah, kind of like us consulting and helping people out. All right, so let's get into it. So the first one I want to talk about, this is absolutely imperative if you guys want to have authority in the photography space. So here's the thing. So there's a lot of people that have a lot better photos than me, that have a better collection, better portfolio. But the problem is that they're kind of trying to be masters of everything. So what issue we have with the camera is that when we're photographing things, we can kind of point that camera in any direction that we want. So with that comes this desire or this need to try to be a master in all these different niches. Okay. So what happens is you're actually watering down your authority. And when people are looking at you and they're discovering you online, it's easy for someone who knows who you are to say, "Oh, Simona, she's fantastic. She's such a great photographer. She does landscape, she does travel, she does food photography, and she does weddings. She does it all." Okay. If someone's in your network, that's no problem. But when someone's outside your network looking in, the problem with that is they're going to say, I don't really know what they do. I'm not really super interested in this random collection of imagery, and you lose their attention. So what's really important, and you guys may have heard this before, but if you're on Vero and you're on Instagram and you're on Facebook, When someone first finds out about you, you want them to say, aha, that's Chase. Chase specializes in Arctic wildlife. He has other nice things, but the main thing he's kind of talking about, and it's repetitive, and I can see this pattern, is the wildlife stuff. And I really resonate with that. And I'm a fan of wildlife, and so I'm going to follow Chase because he's my Arctic wildlife guy. And that's kind of how you start to build up not only just people that are looking at your stuff, but how you build up raving fans. Okay. And the best part about this is that when you get into this part of selling prints, when people are showcasing, here's a picture of a flower from my garden, here's a waterfall, here's a nice picture of some people that I took traveling. Okay. And they're trying to sell all of these different pieces because they're all nice individually. Cohesively, as a curated collection, they are a mess. Okay. The biggest part of when people are going to a page is that when you're in the online space, guys, what is most important to do is to create a selling machine or a selling system on your website. Your website isn't just this hosting platform. What we do is we take the best practices of a gallery and we implement that in the website. And so what's important to know about this is what's called sales copy. Okay. So sales copy is essentially how you are convincing both with logic and emotion to explain the significance of your authority, of the creation process, the fine art process of the image that you created, and bring that significance and why it's impactful to that other person. So what I mean by this is if I was selling images of waterfalls, okay, all over the world, and that was my particular niche, how would I sell waterfalls? Well, I'd say, personally, it makes me feel calm. It makes me feel peaceful. It makes me feel like I'm connected to nature, whatever it is. Okay, those are my thoughts. Me sharing my thoughts isn't going to necessarily speak to my buyer's thoughts. Whenever I'm talking about positioning and niching down, you better find out what niche has really passionate people and figure out why they love that particular niche so much. And so, what I would do in this case is, if it was waterfalls or if it was orcas, for example, let's do orcas. I would go on Facebook, I'd go on Vero, I'd go on Instagram, I'd go on Twitter, and I'd find out if there's hubs that exist specifically about whales. I'd go quite general. If there is, in fact, hubs about whales, I would start to figure out and read the captions and read the comments of why those images that people are sharing and posting, why they move those people in particular ways or why they're so special to them. What I would do is I would go look up whale watching tours and I'd look up the 5-star reviews and then I'd figure out what it is that was so special about those moments. And I gather all this data together of all these reviews, and then I'd use that when I'm telling the story in my caption. Because this, I can start to discover patterns that people really love orcas and whales because they're this unknown creature. They're seemingly so powerful and so like an apex predator, but they're so smart and kind and sweet, and they've never harmed a human in their life. I'd come up with this list of maybe 6 different key points of why people love orcas that I see it as being repetitive across the internet, and I use that in my captions. Because when people go and read the captions, what they're going to do is they're going to be like, oh, this makes sense to me. This resonates with me. That one doesn't, but that next point resonates with me. I really love this. I love the way that Chase is talking about orcas because it really hits home for me. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to support it because it makes me feel something. Okay. And then what happens is you get that emotional appeal with them because you're speaking to that particular buyer's needs and wants. Okay. Their emotions. They're talking about, hey, I'm a fan of orcas and I have a problem. I don't have a picture of an orca. So how can this particular photography site solve my problem? Emotionally, you got me covered. Logically, is the site really easy to use? And is the experience really seamless? Okay. So what we did with Elizabeth Gadd is a student of mine. I don't know. Do you guys know Elizabeth Gadd? She has a lot of self-portraits and things like that. She's an awesome photographer. If you guys don't know Elizabeth Gadd, go check her out. She's very, very sweet um, girl photographer. Definitely Google her. She does self-portraits, but she also does animal portraits. She does couple portraits. But how she marketed herself on Instagram was through these self portraits. Okay, so she's built up a following of like 300,000 or more on Facebook and Instagram. And previously, she had only sold $1,000 per year. She's close to me in Vancouver here, but she had sold $1,000 because she had all these different niches and collections on her site. And whenever she was going to launch her stuff, she could only speak about the general collection. She could only speak about, hey, everybody go to the site and check it out. There's lots of whatever you like, I have for you. And when you try to sell to everyone, you sell to no one. Okay, that's one of the biggest and most important points here. And so what I said I said, Elizabeth, like let's actually eliminate all these different other niches that you have. Beautiful photos, they're gorgeous, they're amazing, but let's put them back here for later, and let's focus on the self portraits because that is what is resonating with your audience. That is how you built up your following. That is where you get your most engagement. And let's really focus and ask people. Let's send out a survey of why they are drawn to those photos and why they like those photos. Maybe we can give them a discount for prints just by getting that information. So what we found out is that people created this feeling that it was almost like they felt like they were there and they were in Elizabeth's shoes because a lot of the pictures had her, just her back to the camera in these beautiful, crazy, massive landscapes. So people felt like, they could travel, but they felt like they were put in that position, in that scene. And they were really compelled by that. It gave them inspiration, gave them hope to one day travel. And so when we went and launched and rebranded and restructured the way that we are focusing on one singular niche, Elizabeth made, this is not accurate, she made 25,500 US in 2 days. Okay. We did a 48-hour launch to get her going. And the amount of traction that she had was unbelievable. So prior, she may have had a lot of visitors to her site, but her conversion rate was next to nothing. Because we had less traffic, but a higher performing conversion rate within her sales copy, because we're speaking to people that are really interested about one particular subject, she sold directly to that audience. Okay. Does that make sense for everybody to understand? Like, if you're going to show up online, pick and choose what it is that you want to do. And really stick to that. It doesn't mean you can't, like Elizabeth still runs her weddings, does her couples photo shoots, but that's a separate entity. Okay. Her print shop is her print shop for her best niche. And I would say choose maximum 3 niches. For me, I do wildlife, I do landscapes, and I do aerials. Okay. And so what I would say focus on first is called it's niche depth. So when you're getting into something and you're thinking, hey, I love landscape, this. Okay, first of all, choose what you like to do, and then choose what people are fans of. That's what I would do first. Figure out which one of those hubs exist online. Focus on that area. Think about how you can create different, different focal length shots, different combination of techniques. Really create that niche depth. So if you're doing a landscape photography, you better be doing, maybe combination of long exposure, panorama, focal length blending, time blending, doing focus stacking, whatever it is. Create that really strong niche depth within a particular subject matter, because now you're having that ability to build skill that no one else has. Okay. Then when you built up those skills, then you can say, okay, listen, I really like aerial landscape photography. It kind of has some similar, type of appeal. It's a little bit more abstract, but it's still with landscapes. I'm going to move into that next. So what I focused on first, I actually I don't know if you guys know my background, but I did landscape photography in the Canadian Rockies for some time. And then I got interested in actually photographing, thinking about these as habitats. And then that got me interested in wildlife. And so that's kind of how I've evolved as a photographer. Then I got into the Arctic because it was difficult to get to, and I could basically have not a lot of competition and just really go to places that really inspired me with my conservation. And so that so Simona says it's hard to choose, but you're not fully committing to one niche. You're fully committing to one niche of where you choose to market it. Does that make sense? So you can still do all the wildlife and aerials and photo concert shoots and people shoots and still life, but what are you going to show up as online? Okay, because you can use that as a starting point. It's really important that you guys go, because if someone were to compare me to if I was having all these different niches and all these different collections and interests, and someone says, hey, Chase, he does wildlife photography and he does Arctic photography. But then someone says, hey, no, actually, this one guy, Florian does just Arctic stuff. And Florian has a collection that is so much more, massive, and it's so much more dense, full of different imagery. Florian's more of an Arctic guy than Chase. So what happens is that people are compared to, so the masters of everything are compared to the one individual who's focusing on one niche. and you're always going to lose. So your authority level can't go up. Okay, it is basically capped unless you can basically win an award or show up somewhere else or show up, kind of with some sort of huge opportunity. But the idea is that you're always going to be compared against the best people in those particular niches. So you really got to make sure that you're focusing on niche depth, not niche breadth. Okay, depth into breadth. That's the most important part of this. All right, cool. So that's going to help you guys with definitely increasing sales, increasing conversions, and then also helping with your sales copy, and also kind of helping with the reason why I talk about veganism and I talk about conservation so much is because it's my identity. And now I live out that every day, and it makes it really great where my life is fluid with my photography. I kind of felt like I had an identity when I went vegan 6 years ago, and that has like exponentially skyrocketed my photography career because I have all these values that people know of that correlate to my particular interest. Okay, so think about that. If in fact, you're trying to force yourself into a niche, but it's not really you, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth that. I guess that friction. Okay, it's unnecessary. Just choose something that you're truly passionate about, but also make sure that there's people that have that same interest. Another thing you can do just on this one component, I know we're spending a little bit of time on this boring slide, but the idea is that if in fact you're not sure what people are searching, go on to something like Uber Suggest. So I'll type this in here. So Uber Suggest. Uber Suggest is going to give you guys the uh, what people are searching every single month. So this will give you guys an idea of some tools that you can use to figure out, are people actually searching for black and white elephant photos? You know, that will give you the answer. I don't know. You can go in there and you can find out yourself, and they can say, okay, 200 people from the United States each month are doing this. Is it worth your time to get a percentage of that? Maybe, but it will give you the difficulty rating as well as the SEO availability to see if it's actually worth your time. Okay, so that's just a tool that I recommend you guys using. All right, let me go to the next slide here. Okay, this is a big one, guys. Let's restore the artist price, limit the supply. So if you guys understand anything about supply and demand, you'll know that if you have an infinite supply, your price drops to the floor. Okay, there's no justification that happens both from a technical side of things and also a just a logical side of things. That if you have an unlimited supply of something, there's no urgency to buy, and there's no ability to match demand to that supply level. So your price drops to the floor. Okay. So you need to act like an artist in this sense. So what's really important about this is that, like I said before, I take in-person gallery understanding and seeing what works in real life, and I try to translate that into the online space and for photographers. And I come from a painting and drawing background. I've been doing it since I was 5. I had university credits in high school by doing art. It was a big passion of mine. That's how I got into photography. I started photography way later in my life, but this is the transition. What I realize is that photographers really are terrible at talking about the fine art process. People get so intimidated by this word fine art photography. Okay, they think that it has this has to do with the level of quality. It does to a degree in the sense of like, yeah, it better look like it does in the digital space as it does when it's printed. But the idea of fine art photography, guys, is the process of creation. It's the process of telling that story. So if in fact you ignore the process of how you created that particular image, why you edited a certain way and what emotion you're trying to convey, then it's not fine art photography. If you skip those steps, if you don't care to elaborate, then what happens is you're actually diminishing the value of your work, and people are just going to focus on price. The idea is that people buy things when the value outweighs the price, outweighs the cost. So how do you get people to ignore cost? You focus on it and you emphasize the story in the process of creation. So similar to an artist, so an artist, what they'll do is they'll video themselves, they'll showcase time lapses of the layering techniques and then going out to the field, capturing images and different inspiration boards. They really bring people on this journey. The best artists do, anyways, bring people on this journey of creation. And it's really fantastic to see that some artists can sell stuff for um, you know 5,000, 25,000, $100,000 for an original. And then from there, they can sell prints and duplicates of those prints. So what we must do, excuse me, in this case, is to stop trying to sell to everyone and know that it's okay to price your work. Um, higher. Okay, this is a big part. So if you are able to limit the supply, what you're able to do is actually justify a higher price. Okay, so one of my students, Nitin, he was trying to sell his stuff for $300, and this was just like a print about this big. Okay, like or no, it was about this size. Okay, he's trying to sell something like this for $300, and what he found is that the people that were in his network, in his corporate network, were in fact people not interested in $300 prints. Okay, if they wanted a $300 print, they can go to IKEA, they can go to a Walmart, they can go to whatever other craft stores you guys have there, and they can find something that's nice, big, covers up a wall, and does the trick. Okay, the idea is that if you're trying to sell and compete on price, you're going to lose every single time. It's a race to the bottom. So if you're using that as your lever to sell, you're doing it wrong. Okay. So what you must do is focus on the idea of how can you add value to your overall collection. So what you can do is you can limit the amount of prints. Okay. So all the prints that we have come with limited edition certificates, and these holograms go on the back of the artwork, and it's all beveled edged, and so that they can match and make sure that that's the in fact the edition that they bought. They keep track of it. Okay, they know the exact certificate number, the size, the edition number that they got, the signature of the artist is on there. That is what's important. So if you can focus on all these value adds, like our printing process is carbon neutral. Okay, that's a value add. Our guarantee, if in fact someone orders a print from us and it doesn't show up exactly perfect, like they see it online or like they see it on the website, we'll send them a brand new one for free right away, and we'll expedite it to you. If in fact there's any issues at all in terms of the shipping, our printing house actually takes the responsibility for that, and they will automatically send out a brand new one for free. Okay, these type of things are huge value add. Then all of a sudden that price, if someone was trying to sell something for $300, they can't commit to that same level of value as someone who's selling something for $3,000. Okay, you have the ability to create margin. What's called is margin need. So margin need is essentially if in fact things were to go perfectly, would you be happy and would you be able to have some profit for you, to a feed yourself, put a roof over your head, and then maybe put back towards more camera gear or invest in trips. $300 won't do much. Okay, it really won't. The only way you can get that is with volume, and if you don't have the ability to have access to volume, then you're going to be having a lot of conversations. So in order for Nitin to make, he's at 18,000 now, but what we did was we priced his prints 10 times the price. Went back to the exact same audience, worked on telling the story. Hey Harris, worked on telling the story, worked on bringing up that value to his particular end buyers. And what he realized was that his buyers and his networks were people that had, maybe just shy $1 million homes, and they wanted something that actually had a story and was a conversation piece, and they're willing to pay for that unique piece of art. Okay, and so in this case, with the exact same conversion rate, so if he said, okay, in order for me to sell 50 of these, I need to have probably 200 conversations. I said, yeah, that's about right. I mean, you can have 25% conversion rate of someone who knows about you and who's interested in your work, and you can sell 50 and you can make potentially 15,000. But what's a little bit more easier, maybe if you had 20 conversations of people who expressed interest in your work, and you sold 5 for that same price, and you focus on delivering all the value adds about those particular prints. And he said, yeah, okay, I can definitely do that, because what we need to acknowledge, guys, is that we don't have an infinite amount of time. That everything that I do and everything that I teach, I don't necessarily work with people that have financial constraints, because that puts too much pressure on just going out and trusting the process. I work with people with time constraints, and with that, most people that I deal with, even some of the best photographers in the world, you guys, just so you know, have other jobs in order to support themselves, which is, it's fine, but it's a little bit crazy. But no one has all this extra abundant time unless you're retired and you're not doing anything. And so what you must do is really manage your expectations for your reality. So if in fact you could have 20 conversations and it's not going to take up a significant amount of your time, and you have the potential to make the same amount as if you had 200 conversations, then you would probably work a little bit harder on your storytelling, knowing that that would be the outcome. Okay, so what we do in this case is we always reverse engineer how many sales activities and marketing activities we need with a conversion rate that is somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 25%, and that's how we would determine how many people to sell, given that we know who we're selling to. That just leaves me to the middle point there. Stop trying to sell to everybody. Not everybody's your buyer. For our particular photo tours, for example, when you come on our photo tour, it's typically like an Arctica photo tour is all vegan. We interview people before they pay us because we don't want one person to ruin the whole experience. So having that type of like exclusivity really creates a interest for a buyer because it brings value to the other people, right? They're like, wow, thank you for taking the time to make sure that everybody on the group is going to get along and that they're nice people. So making sure that you have that ability to be exclusive makes you not look ultra desperate and saying like, please buy my art, buy it now, in this pity sale type of approach. Okay, so understand your customer avatar. That's really important. It's difficult to understand a customer avatar when you don't have any sales. So at this point, you're kind of trying to cast a big net. See who's interested, see who bites, who starts a conversation. Um, it's not who buys, it's who starts a conversation with you and who's interested. Those are the type of people that you need to start to chat with and then get some data to understand, what do they do for a living? Approximately, what do you think that they would make? Do they have, do they go on photography trips? Do they, what is, what are they, what's their job on LinkedIn? You can find out a lot of information about people to kind of understand and craft up your perfect customer avatar. We have two avatars in our photo tour world. Same with our print selling. Our print selling is a little bit leaning towards the people that are looking for, the people that love and appreciate art, not necessarily that are photographers themselves. Okay, stop trying to sell to photographers. It's probably not going to be your best bet. For the most part, photographers don't buy other photographers' work unless they're buying it because they're fans of other people or they're just looking to support them. But your customers are going to be people that that are shopping on Yellow Corner, going on a bunch of different galleries, going to fine home decoration places, things like that. Okay, so understand who it is that you're going to sell to. Make sure that your margin need is enough that you can actually make a profit. Very important. Okay, the power of freedom and automation fulfillment. This is like I think the most important point in this entire process. So I think I don't know if it's an addiction, but artists and photographers, for the most part, are kind of addicted to the struggle, and I think that's it's charming, it's funny, because it doesn't have to be so difficult. It doesn't have to be so hard. So when you're thinking about setting up a website, I think what is often the most difficult thing to do is kind of know the process of like what steps to do, like what order to do it, because if you are like any sort of creative out there, what happens is that you get interested in something. It's like this shiny ball. This is amazing. This is the best thing ever. And then you hit a problem with this thing that was once beautiful to you. There's one website, there's one way of doing things, and then you see someone else doing something, and then you're like, oh shit, like maybe I should go over there. Then you forego all that work, you go over here and you're actually restarting, but it's interesting, it's shiny, it's new. Then you realize there's another problem with this thing. And then you're wondering, okay, shit, I should go backwards. I should kind of figure this out. And so what happens is that photographers get into this like crazy loop of what I call the pain triangle. Okay. Get excited, hit a roadblock, don't know how to overcome it, go restart. Do. And then freedom, like freedom and money to me, guys, is nothing but a synonym for freedom. Okay, that's all money is. I don't care about money. I use it as a tool. It comes and goes in and out of our account like you wouldn't even believe because we're using it to create freedom for our lives, right? To do what we want to do when we want to do it, and so on. And so when you're getting into this pain triangle of getting excited about something that's brand new to you, being oblivious to all the struggles and all the pains that are going to happen, or thinking that there's no difficulty going to happen, like you're setting yourself up and your expectations for failure every single time. So what's really important to understand this is that there's a lot of processes, a lot of ways to sell prints, and they're all varying degrees of difficulty and so on. But what's important to understand is that automation needs to be an essential component to whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, there's no need for people to be printing their stuff on their own. Okay, I never worked at a print shop. I don't do shipping. I don't know how to package things correctly so they don't get damaged. That's not my forte. So I choose organizations and people and systems that do that for me. Okay, my goal as a photographer is to take nice, beautiful photos that have amazing stories that are compelling, emotional, and connect to a buyer, and to market them. Okay, to distribute them. The biggest part about photographers is they get so stuck behind the editing, the technical stuff, the perfectionist, this paralysis of not having enough expertise or not enough understanding to know how to overcome those little issues and troubles that happen. And then they get sidetracked. And then they like, if you get something 99% done, you're making $0. Okay. If you get something done and then you don't market it, you're getting $0. If you think that a print business is passive, you are out of your mind. Okay, this is not a reality. This is a fake dream that people are selling to you. Every single thing in the photography world, it requires some sort of effort. Okay, the only thing that's truly passive, I think, is if you have an investment and it's riding a wave of a market rally. Okay, the biggest part of this is to understand that passivity will come over time, but it will never be the full. Like, you need to have levers that you're pulling continuously throughout your business to make sure that you're getting stimulus and marketing efforts for your work. What happens is like, even when I'm talking about some of the stuff that I'm talking about on my Instagram or whatever, I get like 2,000 views on the story. And then I ask people, I said, do you know that I sell fine art photography? Right. And I've been doing this forever. And 93% say no. Okay. Is that not shocking to you, to think that we think our interpretation of something, how we think we're coming across, is often very far from the reality. And then therefore we think that we're being annoying. We think that we're bugging people. We think that we're spamming people. I want you guys to get over that, because for the most part, like, you need to have that drive and that ability to be proud of your work, to talk about your work, and to market it. And photographers fail at marketing, like, so significantly. Okay, they do what's called these soft launches, these hope that they're going to be a passive project type of thing. Every single thing needs to be done appropriately and with a plan, and to make sure that you guys have your business and your particular photography work top of mind for every single person that sees your work. Okay, in order for someone to buy something and to get into this fulfillment stage, they need to hear about your sale at least 7 times before they even consider buying. Okay, so before you think you're annoying, just know that it's not. It's not. It's not an annoying thing to talk about your work and your passion. It's annoying to say, "Go buy my prints." Never ever go from a perspective to say, "Go buy my prints." You're within the sales process to get to the fulfillment. It's awareness, interest, desire, action. You never just get someone to go do action. Go buy. That's annoying. That's a used car salesman, because what happens is you're not understanding the other parts of that buyer's process for them to be interested in what you're doing, to be compelled by your doing, to see if in fact your prints are solving a problem. Businesses don't exist to make money, you guys. Businesses exist to solve problems. So if you're looking at your prints and you're thinking, okay, how can I solve someone's problem? It needs to be this process of walking them through there, and not forcing them to buy, giving them that consideration, that time, and that space, but also doing your part and doing some marketing. So okay, so fulfillment's really important. Like I said, these prints that I teach and do, they come with all these limited edition certificates, beautifully done prints, award-winning not landscape, award-winning print shop. So I did a test for my own prints. So I spent a lot of time marketing. Okay, tons of time marketing. I focused on two particular niches. I did one otters and one orcas. And with the otters, I just marketed my work across different channels, talked about it, engaged with people, and then let them know, hey, if you're interested in a print, just let me know. Okay. So what happened is that I got 20 sales from that, just on average, like $5,000 through the course of 2 weeks. And it took me 2 weeks to fulfill this. All right. Like, people are thinking, okay, $5,000 in 2 weeks, that's fantastic. That's great. Okay. It is. It's awesome, but it's not scalable. Okay. It's scalable means you can grow your business without adding time and complexity into your life. Okay. There's so many different ways that you can do this better. And so what I said is, okay, I had to go back and forth with people that were interested in my work, and I appreciate it. It's awesome. But I don't know what color your bathroom is. And I don't know if that's going to match the color of blue that I have in my work. Okay. I have no idea. But this is part of the email transactions, the email chains that happen that take up your time. Okay. And it's this slow process that makes it just like this process was so painful. I didn't want to do this again for 6 months doing that manual process. It really sucked. Okay. The idea is that if in fact I could work on automation, I actually generated 40 sales and doubled the amount of revenue with the same amount of marketing effort. Right? It wasn't just passive. I went out there and I worked on marketing, and my fulfillment time of that, given that my website was set up perfectly and that there was this great user experience, was 20 minutes. Okay. I sold all the stuff. It was purchased. The money was collected. It was shipped out automatically. I was sat back and I just pressed fulfilled. That's it. That's all I did. Okay. So that's what's important is that how important is your time? Your time is everything. Okay. Money is what's used to buy time, to create time. If in fact you can work on that from both perspectives of saving time and making more money, you should do that. Okay. It's really important. Okay. So again, find a fulfiller, someone who can ship worldwide. All right. So again, I'm adding in a little fourth strategy for you Pictas folks and for you people who have come through, through there. Set up your store for your customers, not for you. This goes kind of back to my first point. You want to mimic those in-person galleries, simple navigation, simple offers, have compelling guarantees, and then have compelling captions that build trust with you in your process of creation. Okay, and then finally, when you're driving people and driving traffic to your site, create short selling periods for urgency. So don't put your stuff on sale for indefinite periods of time. Do that in stimulus periods. Typically, how I set up my store launches, I'll do, depending on how much work I'm doing, I'll do 2 to 4 launches per year where I'll make a bulk of my money and it'll taper off to nothing. And then it will pick up when someone finds out about my work. Then it will go up on my next launch, next release of new images. And then it goes like this. Okay. And then throughout that year, say for example, if we're making $2,000 to $10,000 a month on average, if I'm looking at that, maybe it's averaging $5,000 or $6,000 a month times by 12. That's kind of how the average happens throughout the year. It's not linear ever. To understand, like your print stimuluses and your print events do this. Okay. And then you just taper that money off and use it as needed. But don't think that this is, you're going to hit the sky high level every single month. That's not realistic. If in fact you have new images, new releases, exciting things going on in your business, then you can create a massive stimulus hike in your sales. But that is averaged out throughout the whole year. It's not like this. It's not like I don't make like 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. It's not the case. The reason why I go from 2 to 10,000 is all depending on 2,000 right now is kind of my bottom passivity mark. Okay. So I can do nothing and kind of make around $2,000 a month, but it's taken me, 3 years to kind of get up to that level. Okay. Just so you guys know that, have that perspective. Okay. So how can you guys implement these strategies? This is a big deal, right? For you guys to go out and do this. What I would suggest is definitely research the topics and niche selections. Go and do the market research. Use Uber Suggest. Use Google Analytics. There's SEM Rush. Find out SEO tools and see who's searching what. Go onto those Facebook and Vero hubs and see what is the most popular subjects and posts. Go on Instagram. Go onto the major hubs and see which image, maybe it's 50,000, but what gets 100,000 likes, right? Think about those type of things when you're going and actually figuring out your niches. And then what's really important is to understand and ask people. Don't assume. Go and ask people and make sure that they make sure that you get your own data. Don't just assume anything, because what happens is you're going to put yourself in a position of down a path based on limited information that is not your own, and that could cause issues. Okay, we want to make sure that we're always in this position of like pre-selling your idea. Pre-sell your idea, see who's interested, and if there's some traction, then go and execute it. And that's what's going to make sense. Okay. So with anything that we do, we pre-sell the ideas all the time, whether it's photo tours, whether it's prints, whether it's courses, it doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that there's enough interest and demand. And then from there, you can constantly improve that. So the process of what you guys do is like you post your stuff on your print shops, you go and launch your store, you relaunch your store, see what sells. 20% will sell, 80% will not. Of that 80%, you remove 60%, and then you put that in with a new collection. Okay, 60% is replaced, and then you test that again. And then of that new collection, you're going to start to see which ones are becoming your best sellers. Then you'll know exactly where to go spend your time in the field, because that's what people are buying. So you guys know, okay, hey, listen, I made $5,000 selling Africa elephant images. People love, in my network, love African elephants. So I'm going to go and invest in a trip and go to Africa and spend time, with the big tuskers. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, that is how you understand the ROI of your camera gear and your trips. Don't just try to keep up with all the particular camera gear and go to every location that you can. Really be intentional and understand how you can actually create that freedom in your life by choosing to do the right things for your camera gear and for your trips and for your expeditions, and also for your knowledge, right? To understand, maybe people just bought your long exposure landscape shots and they want more of that, then maybe you should figure out how to make them even better. Right. So that's kind of the process. What's really great, I mean, work with photographers who have done this. I'm one of them. There's lots of people that have done certain ways and certain things that are compelling, that work. You can dedicate hours throughout your work week to ensure you maintain accountability. So, like I said, the big misunderstanding of everything that I teach and do, and what I see as a repetitive pattern with my students, is they think that everything is like the biggest deal, and that it needs to be this massive effort, this short sprint of this effort. It's not true. It's like tiny little bit of um, small intentional efforts every single day will create an abundance of wealth and freedom for you. Okay. The biggest part is that people don't understand how much that compounds day after day. And it's really important that you guys develop the proper habits and accountability. So lean into your community and lean into your network to make sure that you guys have that accountability. For me, my biggest part when I'm coaching and teaching people, yes, I help them with the technical stuff. I help them get through some hurdles and some difficult things. But my big part is saying, like, I want to make sure that you have integrity. Are you going to do what you say that you're going to do? Every single week, we check in and make sure that if in fact you didn't do something, well, why was that the case? And then we amend, was that too difficult of goal? Or was it because you didn't make the time for it? Right. So accountability, guys, is like the number one thing. And often we give ourselves too much leniency. I'm not saying be hard on yourself. I'm not saying be cruel to yourself, but I'm saying be realistic. Okay. It's a big deal to be accountable. And that's honestly how most success and most wealth happens. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to make a lot of money every single month to be wealthy. It's the same thing. Okay. Okay. So this took me 3 years to kind of solve. Like I said before, it took me a lot of time to do this. Are you guys interested in finding out how to do this a lot easier and a lot quicker? Just let me know in the chat. Yes. Oh, yes, Dan says. Yes. John goes, yeah. Harry says, yeah, sure. Very casual. Awesome. Yes, yes. Okay, cool. So guys, like I said before, I'm a pioneer in the sense of like I've wasted a lot of my time, a lot of my money wasted. Um, and I created this challenge. Okay. This challenge is my kind of viral challenge, I would say, that has been going on for the last year and a bit. It's a 10-day print selling challenge that I'm going to be there in a live challenge with you guys, teaching you guys every single step to make this happen, both the technical side of things and then the marketing side of things, the sales side of things. And then from there, I give you guys enough time to make sure that you understand the process. And then we set a date that you guys are going to go and launch your store. And your goal is to make a minimum $1,000. Because if you can make $1,000, guys, you can make 5,000. You can make 10,000. If you can make $1, you can make $100. That's the principle, right? So I'm teaching you guys essentially how to fish and how to save all your time. Okay, you guys have precious time. I don't want you guys to be stuck and to be angry and to be wasting all this time and spending your money. Don't waste your money trying to figure things out. Just go with someone who's done it. Okay, for the most part, it's it's an hour to 2 hours each call where I'm live on there. Okay, um, I only do this once a month because I'm so busy with my other students, and so it's really important that if you guys are going to do this, that you join this. I limit it typically to maximum 25 students, and there's only a few spots coming up, and it starts February 24th to March 7th. This is the best, like the best part of my entire month is to teach people and show them and meet with you guys on Zoom. So you guys have the ability to ask me all the questions, all those burning questions you have. Uh, in a live chat. I get to see your faces. It's all recorded for you guys, so you guys can walk through it. Do one mission at a time. If you do the missions in order, what's going to happen is you're going to create this proper print machine, right? A machine, something that has that automation done for you, where you can focus on marketing, getting more on vlogs, on podcasts, getting interviewed by magazines. That's where your time should be, if in fact you want to make photography your thing. Okay, so this is what it looks like, guys. So here's me, not the best screenshot of me, walking people through the exact steps. So I use a combination of slides and then just me doing the work. So I show you guys exactly the software to use, how it actually grows and creates sales for you. And we chat with each other in a private Facebook group. So that way we're all supportive of one another. So it's like that kind of that Pictas mentality there, where we're trying to raise the profile and the level of photographers to make sure we're coming together. You guys understand every single little nuance or little thing that may come into your way, and that we smash those bottlenecks. Bottlenecks are when you hit like a roadblock and you're like, I don't know what to do. Okay, I'm there to just basically walk you guys through and give you that step by step help with one step at a time. The thing is with most people that are going to join this is that you guys all have varying degrees of expertise, and that's perfect. I teach the way I teach is like teaching to a 5-year old. Okay, I can teach you guys complex things that are digestible and that you can understand. And then if you don't understand, you can ask me questions. You can send me an email. You can ask me in the Facebook group, and you can get your answer and solution to your problem. Okay, this is something that I'm extremely passionate about, because this is how I've created $1.8 million for my students. This number, it gives me goosebumps to see the level of accountability of my students to go out there and achieve such amazing success. Okay, I'm really honored to work with people. I have the best students of all. These are some students' results, just random students that I've chose. So Nitin, top left, he's the guy who we changed the price from 300 to 3,000. Houston and his mom Katie. Houston has Down syndrome. We worked on a strategy for Houston to tell the story, and he's actually since then, since a year ago, he's in my class. He's gone viral. He's all over TikTok, all over Instagram. He's built up an audience of hundreds of thousands of people. And in his print selling challenge, even without this network, they made $12,000 in the 2 days, which is awesome. Of course, we do the work, we put in the effort, and then you guys go and launch. So that's kind of the process. We do like a 48-hour print sale. Deer from India, he's 18. He made $1,200 in his. And what I want to show you guys is like the internet is this amazing, big, beautiful place full of people interested in a whole bunch of different things. Okay. And this is what's really important to understand, that you guys can sell to anyone. And most print shops have limitations on shipping, have limitations on where you can send your stuff. What I teach you guys is that you have the global marketplace. And then when we set this up, your shipping actually is essentially included in the print being sent out. Okay. 70% of all abandoned carts happen because a shipping is added on extra. This is what I'm going to do. So guys, you guys may have seen this before. This challenge, I charge 400 US dollars an hour to work with me. Okay. So this challenge is a huge discount. There's courses all over the internet that are $3,000, $2,000 that don't promise and don't walk you through the same steps as me. I'm not here to gouge you guys. I'm here to show up and make sure that you guys get everything that you need. But for the Pictas folks, again, this is just discussing the time and the cost. Okay, this amount. My goal is for you guys to like triple that money at least by selling your own prints, and then from there you can do this as many times as you want. Right? Those are my students' results. The problem is that there's a lot of confusing programs out there that have this perceived value because they're trying to charge you $3,000 or $2,000 or a ridiculous amount. Okay. I want you guys to understand that if you join the call, you join the challenges, and you don't learn something new, you don't figure out something, and you join every single live call, I will 100% give you your money back if in fact you didn't learn anything. Okay, that's how confident I am that this is the ultimate uh, the 5 courses you need, right, to figure all your print stuff out. But for Pictas people, you guys are the best. And so I'm giving you guys this challenge. Everybody who's joined through here, through Pictas, through that marketing of signing up for here, I'm giving you guys $100 off. I typically don't ever discount my stuff. This is like an unusual thing, but it's just a thank you guys that I'm just doing for you. And it's only available for those of you guys who are going to watch this webinar. But here's the thing. Like I said before, I don't just like give away these discounts. I want to empower photographers. So there's the offers there in the chat, guys. Click on that. That link is going to be specific to the $100 discount. So when you guys sign up, you guys are going to get access to the Facebook group. It starts February 24th. Goes for kind of a period of 10 days with five calls in between. You work through your missions. You work with me. And then from there, we have a print shop launch date that I set for you guys after the 10-day challenge. And then we do a bonus call so I can see how you guys performed and how you did. So click on that challenge. Let me know who's in. And then I have a special giveaway. Anybody who is joining this, I'm doing a massive giveaway. Okay. So let me know once you guys have signed up in the chat, say, hey, I'm in. And then let me see. Yes, Nick, of course. So the times for the challenge, don't worry about the specific times. If you join it live, that's awesome. That's cool. You can always send me emails and questions to go over the challenge. Yes, guys, like definitely sign up, click that link. And there's the order form is kind of right under the first video there. When you guys are signing up to the challenge, like I said, you can watch the recordings. You guys can get all the recordings you want, watch it a million times as you want. It's all linked to your email. So you guys can get your email. And if something doesn't resonate with you guys, you watch the call again. Okay. Robert, if you're not on Facebook, it's not a big deal. You can just send me an email and I'll send you your link. The advantage of the Facebook group is just to have the chat, right? Just to say, hey, here's my work. Here's my Vero links, my Instagram links. Go check me out. So it's nice for the community, Robert, but it's not necessary. So you can sign up 100%. And then once everybody signs up, I'm going to see and do a really special giveaway here. Okay. So give me 1 sec. I'm just going to see who's all signed up. Give me 1 sec. And for everybody who signed up, so the people who are on here, okay, so we have Simona. She is signed up. All right. Nick is in. Dan's in the process. Okay, so I don't want to create any sort of urgency here for you guys, but for anybody who signed up today, as you guys know, we do photo tours, and we're going to Greenland in August. And everybody who's on this webinar today who is signed up to the Print Selling Challenge, I'm going to give you guys $500 towards a Greenland photo tour with Jenny and me. To go to Greenland and go to the Arctic. So if you guys are up, so I see Simona's signed up. So Simona, I have all your emails, and I'm going to send you guys the $500 for sitting through and watching this. And Matthias, don't worry about it. I can set up a link for your email. So send me an email at this, you guys. Awesome. And say, hey, you know what? I was a part of the webinar, and I'll make sure that you have that $100 off link, and that you don't have your wallet, so I'll honor the Greenland giveaway as well. And then what I want to do as well, guys. So for like I said, I just love giving stuff away because it's the best. Okay, so everybody who signed up is getting that $500 off to the Greenland tour, which is arguably the most gorgeous place in the planet. Colossal icebergs the size of skyscrapers. We have boat charters. We have oceanside accommodations, and I'm going to be teaching you guys all the different skills, not only with drone photography, but landscape photography, doing focus stacking, focal length blending, time blending, doing all the Photoshop and all the particular Lightroom skills that I've mastered over the last 6 years, 10 years actually, 6 years that I've been doing photo tours. And we're going to bring you guys to all the secret spots as well. Okay. So, okay, Robert signed up. Sweet. Then for the top performer in the challenge. So say, for example, you guys go and launch your store, right? And you kick butt. The top performer is going to get $1,000 off that Greenland tour. So there's potential for $1,500 off to join the Greenland tour, which, like I said, it's a nice incentive to give people this, like, hey, travel is going to exist again. So I want you guys to be motivated to come there and meet all the photographers. The people who come on our photo tours are people that are hobbyists, professionals, and everything in between. The best part is that I'm associated with quite a few different organizations and groups, whether it's Nat Geo Travel, Nat Geo Adventure, Canon, and you guys want to network. Okay, that's the biggest part of photography. I used to spend tons of money going on photo tours to network with people. Okay, the landscapes and the experience was just a bonus. When you meet the proper people in photography, you guys are going to get all the opportunity, to exceed, to excel and to flourish. Okay, so I'm just going to see who signed up here, just to make sure that I have everybody who's going to get the $500 off to Greenland. Okay, so far we have Rob, Dan, Nick, Simona, awesome. Okay, sweet, awesome. Yes, so yeah, you'll get an email confirmation. How it works, guys, is like this. So when you guys sign up, you're going to get an email confirmation, and it's going to say, "Welcome to the 10-day print selling challenge." Click to join this Wildlife Mastery Nature and Wildlife Facebook group. The second thing is going to be join the private challenge group. So that's going to be the February 24th to the March 7th. Then when you guys join the group, I'll accept you guys. Just make sure you put your email that you used to sign up. That's how I kind of verify it. And then you guys do an intro. So you're going to say, hey, I'm Simona. Here's my Vero link. Here's my Instagram link. Check me out. I love self-promotion. Okay. I think that it's super cool to see all the different expertises and skills and people from all over the world focusing on different photography niches. So you guys have the ability to introduce yourself in the group. And we build this like really cool small community in there. Then you guys get the schedule. So you get my private Zoom link. You get the schedule. You call in 5 minutes before the call is ready to go. I think it's at I think 1:30 or 1 o'clock PST, which is kind of in the evening for those of you in Europe and UK, but it's after work, which is kind of sweet. You guys may have too much energy after you do the challenge calls with me. I get pretty excited in there. And so you guys will go and do the challenge. So I walk you guys through and I say, okay, here's the agenda. Here's what we're doing today. We're going to focus on doing this particular component. I walk through the slides. I walk through the actual instructions. That video and the steps are going to be posted in the private Facebook group as well as on your Gmail, if in fact you're not in the private Facebook group. Those are going to be both sent to you, okay? Robert, I'll check to make sure your sign up has gone through. One sec. If in fact it doesn't work the first time, guys, try it twice. Often that it gets a little bit odd. I noticed that sometimes. So if your payment failed and it didn't work, just try again. So outdoor travel photography, I'm not sure who that is. Is that you, Robert? Let me just double check. One sec. Rob Kale, is that you? Okay. Anyways, I think it's good. You'll receive. Okay, perfect. Oh, other Rob. Sorry. Okay, let me just see. Double check. Yeah, Robert, it went through. Yeah, so you're all good. You're on there. Okay. And so what's really great, guys, is that you guys will get the action items. So you're going to say, okay, here's step 1 to 10 or 1 to 5 that Chase went through today. Do them in order. And if in fact you don't get mission 1 done, then you don't start mission 2. We'll go over mission 2. You guys will have that order and you'll have that process in the recording, but you're just doing 1 mission at a time, so it doesn't get overwhelming. Okay. For the most part, that's why I spread the calls out through 10 days. So you have a little bit of time to work in between the calls to get the stuff done. Sometimes people are in different positions where, maybe it's a 30-minute exercise. Some people are like, oh my God, this is brand new to me. It's going to take me 2 hours. That's totally fine. It's just knowing that you're going to spend those hours doing the proper steps, right? The worst thing that can happen is you guys work on this on your own. There's no need to do this on your own. I'm going to make it really simple for you guys. So that's kind of the process. Of everything is automated. So all the emails that you guys are going to get, all the confirmations. If you guys bought the accelerator pack, those are all my email scripts that I've spent, like, there's 20 pages of emails that I send um, to my audience prior to a launch. There's me showing you guys how to retarget on email. So showing how to send emails to people that didn't open them, and then how to change the subject line to get more open rates and click-through rates. That accelerator pack is just meant to save you time. So there's different Photoshop techniques that I teach in there, as well as the pre-designed catalog template. Okay. So that basically, I created this catalog template. When you guys go to launch, all your images can be in there for you guys to pretend like you're having an in-person gallery, which is the best experience, right? We want to make sure that we're duplicating what works in real life in that physical world into the online space. Okay, so that's what the accelerator pack is. It's I created that actually after 3 months of seeing all these same problems that were slowing people down. Email marketing is a very difficult thing for people, knowing what to write, knowing how to write it. So I just wrote it for everybody, and then put that together. Okay, so cool. So let me just double check. I just want to see who's, while we're recording this, just to see who's all signed up. Okay, so looks like we have Simona, Nick, Dan, Rob, and other Rob. Okay, so those guys, and then, and Matthias. Yes. Okay, awesome. I just want to make sure that that email went through. I think it's all good, Matthias. So do that tomorrow. If you guys need some time to decide as well, you're obviously not going to get the $500 for the Greenland trip. But this particular link that I'm sending out, so just copy and paste this link in your guys's browser. Use that link, and in the next, I think it'll expire. I'll expire it later so that Matthias can get it, as well as the people that are decided. But just watch the testimonials. Like, even if you guys have signed up, Simona and Rob and everybody else, watch the testimonials. Just watch the videos of my students. They are the most authentic, awesome people of all time, and I want you guys to be a part of this as my students as well, just to see and understand their situations. If you guys can resonate with one of the students that maybe has a similar amount of followers as you don't need followers. You don't need to have any existing experience to really excel in this challenge. And that's why, again, I've evolved it, and it's been getting better every single time. But the process remains the same. And I don't want people to get intimidated to think that if they have 100 followers, they can't, they're not going to make 25,000. That's okay. Okay. If people have hundreds of thousands of followers, they're obviously going to be in an advantageous position, but it doesn't mean that it's any different level of success. Okay. Because someone making $1,000 for the first time selling prints and never sold anything before in the past, that is huge, because that is proof of concept. That is proof of something working. And like I said before, if you can make $1,000, then you can make 5 to 10 to whatever, given that you are a sponge and that you're able to develop those digital marketing skills in addition to understanding niche depth. If you can figure that out, then you guys are going to be ultra successful. And I want I want to be on your guys' team cheering you on. That's the biggest part. So when you guys do the challenge and you guys go through and you kick butt, I would love a testimonial to make sure that you guys celebrate your successes, because this is huge. This is a big deal for photographers to understand kind of what works and what doesn't, so that you guys can go and take more beautiful photos and travel the world and do what it is that you do best. So that is it for today's workshop, guys. I really appreciate you guys sticking through to the end. Like I said before, it means a lot, for Pictas, for Vero, for all the other communities that are supporting this. And my connection there through Wadi, this to be able to teach and to share this information with people, and for you guys to take, like, by any means, like, if you're not joining the challenge, take what I taught you today and implement that right away. Like, those are some things that, like, or look into it, right? Start that investigation process, start that research process. This stuff is meant to be used. Don't just read a million books and do nothing about it. It's better to read one book, read it again, and then execute. Execution on any skills or any new learnings that you're doing is going to give you that feedback loop to basically progress, right? If you're not trying things and testing things out, then the answer is always no. The answer is always zero. Okay. You're never going to get that validation to bring something forward to a market, someone who's actually where the most important feedback of all time to understand how if something is going to work is the market, right? And the fans and the people and those interested in what it is that you're doing. If there's nothing but crickets, then you know that a maybe your niche isn't speaking to the people. Maybe your photography skills need some work, right? Which is often the case. A lot of times people are only giving their only feedback to themselves. You need to be your kind of your toughest critic, but you also need to seek feedback. Okay? Feedback's a gift. So ask feedback from people that are experts. And then what I would say is just um, spend the time understanding marketing. Sales doesn't have to be cringeworthy. Sales for me is when I'm connecting a problem to a solution. And whenever I sell something like this course, I'm so proud to sell this course to you guys. I want to sell this course to you guys. I'm not trying to hide it. I think that this course is amazing, and I think that it's unbelievable, and I think that you guys will love it. Um, and I'm creating a solution to a problem. That's all I'm doing, right? So it makes me feel good to offer a solution to you guys rather than sitting here and doing this webinar or this workshop, and then you guys are going like, "Oh, how do I actually do this?" Right? This is why it's important to understand that sales is a fun process given that you know that you're solving a problem for somebody. If in fact you're not solving a problem, you're just desperate, you're looking for money, then it's going to feel quite terrible and it's not going to feel good. Sales is a synergetic and a two-way exchange between someone who has a problem and someone who has a solution. That's it. Okay. So if you can get your prints in that position as well, we talk about this actually in the 10-day challenge of how to position your prints as being a solution to a problem, and it actually profoundly will change the way that you're communicating with your particular fans or your potential customers. Okay. So within this challenge, I just want to reiterate what we're going to be talking about is the technical, the belief side of things. So I've read nearly 750 books about entrepreneurship, mindset, belief, manifestation, all these different personal development books and things like that I integrate in my teachings to make sure that we reset our beliefs and understand what is possible. Because literally, like I want people to eliminate the idea that they're worth a certain amount per hour, that they're worth a certain amount per year. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage. You guys can make an infinite amount of money given that you solve however many problems. That is literally the process that I want you to get you guys focused on. So, um, yeah, definitely, the belief part is the number one way that we start this. Then we go into the technical side of things, making sure you guys understand all the applications, the softwares, the setup of how this works. Then we go into the sales and marketing side of things. What the best part about this, guys, is that with me teaching you guys print selling stuff, you guys hear me even in this chat now. I'm talking a little bit about my photo tours, a little bit about the services that we do to give you guys an indication that this process of selling prints can be picked up, taken, and used for any other photography product or service that you want to sell. It's the same thing. Okay, it's just choosing different words and choosing different things to put forward in front of customers. Okay, so that's why when you guys join the challenge, a lot of people actually end up hiring me or working with me to help them with their photography services business. Right? Maybe if they're doing landscape photography and they want to do workshops in certain locations, I've been there, done it. I'm willing to help you guys, willing to make sure that you guys get through this. A good friend of mine, I don't know if you guys know Daniel Corden. I think he's on the Pictas stuff. I set up his shop. I work with a lot of Nat Geo photographers setting up all their shops as well. Um, Harry says, "Hey Chase, please let me know when you go back to the Arctic." Yeah, so I'll explain something quickly. So Arctica is our company name, and Arctic it's a little bit confusing because we use the Arctic, and Antarctica kind of hybrid to create Arctica. Arctic is where we're going in August. Okay, so yeah, Harry, I would love to have you join. That would be fantastic. And guys, keep your eyes out for the Pictas community as we get going here. I'm going to work with Vero. I'm going to work with Waddy and Harry here to make sure that we have access. If there's some sort of way to give you guys discounts to join our tours to really build up your portfolios, what we specialize is getting you guys access. Like access is number one thing. If you can't get access to the locations or to the wildlife or to the areas, then you're not going to get good photos. So that's kind of how our photo tour company came about. So I'm going to try to see if there's some sort of way that we can give discounts to all the Pictas members. So if you guys aren't Pictas members, sign up. It's the best $30 you're going to spend. Yes, Harry, we're going to Antarctica in 2024. So we have a 40, I think it's 40 people. Most vessels that go down there are massive. We have a really small vessel, and it's all for photography specific. So we have the longest time we're allowed. We're doing the Falklands and Antarctica. So watch out for that, guys. This tour is going to be insane. It's coming out in 2024. So we're going to spend the most amount of time we can with penguins. We're also going to be, if you guys have dry suits, we're going to be in the water photographing the penguins, jump into the water as well, tying ourselves up with ropes. It's photography specific. So it's not these cookie cutter type of trips that you guys are going to see. What we do is like we go swim with wild orcas. We're sailing around massive icebergs. We don't do things that other people are doing. So watch out for the Antarctica trip. It's coming. I think it's January 2024. I don't remember the exact date of it, but I'll make sure that you guys know of that to make sure that you guys have access to that too. Cool. Okay, guys, thank you for your time. Enjoy your Saturday, and I am so excited to see you guys in the challenge and to meet you guys personally. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Wow. Thank you, guys. Thanks so much. Wicked. Okay, we'll see you guys. We'll see you on Vero. See you on Instagram, and see you on all over the print selling challenge. It's going to be a blast. Okay, ciao, guys. Feel free to watch the recording as well. The recording will be available. So if there's something that you guys need to hear again, just watch it again. It should be sent to your email. If you guys don't get the recording, I'm going to send a version to Waddy as well, and it'll be on the Pictas site.